Jeff Wadlow is the director of the adventure comedy The Curse of Bridge Hollow on Netflix. Sydney, a teenager, and her parents move to the town in question in the course of the story. Sydney, however, quickly learns of the deep wickedness and dark secrets that are kept inside her new house. Sydney partners up with her science teacher father, Howard, to save Halloween and the town after she unintentionally releases a terrible evil on Halloween. In the opening scene of The Curse of Bridge Hollow, Sydney Gordon and her parents, Howard and Emily Gordon, are on their way to Bridge Hollow. Howard has been given the opportunity to become a science teacher at the nearby high school, therefore the family is migrating to the community. Sydney, meanwhile, is not pleased about leaving Brooklyn for a dull provincial village. Sydney is also intrigued in the paranormal, due to her father's dismay, and no longer wishes to join the science team. On the eve of Halloween, the family moves into their new house. Howard, though, finds the town's overzealous celebration of Halloween annoying. He also won't allow Sydney put up decorations or participate in the eerie holiday. In the meantime, Mayor Tammy relates that Stingy Jack, an evil spirit, previously tormented Bridge Hollow. As a result, Bridge Hollow started to celebrate Halloween as a major holiday. Sydney discovers that Madame Hawthorne, a local witch infamous for kidnapping Stingy Jack, had resided in the mansion. Sydney discovers a tomb that contains numerous boxes while investigating the mansion. Sydney converses with Madame Hawthorne using a Ouija board. She then converses with a separate spirit who directs her to a box, whereupon she is moved to open it. Sydney discovers a lantern inside the box that contains Stingy Jack's ghost. Sydney decks out the house for Halloween using the lantern. However, Sydney's decision to leave the science team has angered Howard, and the two clash as a result. Stingy Jack's ghost is released during their quarrel, and as it wanders across the town, it transforms Halloween decorations into its army. Sydney threatens the entire community after learning that Stingy Jack has escaped. Howard, though, does not think that paranormal activity is taking on at Bridge Hollow. However, Howard goes with Sydney on her investigation into the town's bizarre happenings. In the meantime, Stingy Jack's ghost seeks to use its influence to transform each day into Halloween. Sydney and Howard must therefore put aside their disagreements in order to finally put an end to the evil spirit. Sydney and Howard eventually meet Sydney's new acquaintances, who are paranormal specialists, as the story progresses. In the meantime, Stingy Jack marauds the town and acquires the strength required to carry out his grand scheme. Sydney surmises that since she cast a spell to release Stingy Jack, there must also be a spell to ensnare the ghost once more. The gang made the decision to find Madame Hawthorne's book of spells after learning that she used a spell to defeat Stingy Jack and imprison him in a lantern. After the Hawthorne residence was sold, the book was auctioned. The group ultimately learns that Principal Floyd is the book's current owner. Principal Floyd admits that he no longer possesses the book, though. The group is compelled to come up with a different solution as a result. They make the choice to use a Ouija board to call up Madame Hawthorne's ghost. They learn the binding spell that Madame Hawthorne used to capture Stingy Jack. The ghost gains strength and threatens to kill Emily before the party can use the magic chant to halt Stingy Jack. At their house, Sydney and Howard show they're just in time to save Emily. Sydney tries to enter the house, but Howard forbids her since it's too risky. Sydney persists, however, because she is the only one who is able to cast the spell. Howard affirms his confidence in Sydney and his belief in paranormal activity. As a result, Howard is successful in casting the enchantment on Stingy Jack, and it is effective. The spirit's might is diminished, and it is compelled to withdraw inside the lamp. In the end, Stingy Jack is stopped after Howard and Sydney put their opposing ideals aside. Howard and Cindy get closer as a result of the experience, and Howard comes to see how well science and the paranormal can coexist. Bridge Hollow returns to normality after recapturing Stingy Jack's spirit. People return to their daily lives as Halloween is celebrated in the peaceful, quiet hamlet. As a result of their improved communication, Howard and Sydney's relationship gets healthier. In the climactic moment, Sydney and Howard discuss what to do with the lantern that contains Stingy Jack's ghost. The father and daughter stop the bad ghost's plan to make Halloween last forever in Bridge Hollow. However, it continues to be a threat and must be taken seriously. In order to prevent Stingy Jack from being released again, Sydney and Howard put the lantern back in the box that Sydney found it in. The crypt's wall accidentally collapses, exposing additional boxes that match the one that contains the light. Sydney and Howard's startled reactions are seen towards the movie's conclusion. The house's boxes may contain further demonic spirits and other sinister creatures, according to the scene's conclusion. The owner of the home is Madame Hawthorne, a notorious witch. She probably engaged in combat with a number of paranormal entities and used her magic to imprison them in the boxes. Bridge Hollow is well known for its Halloween celebration, which suggests that the community is a hotbed for paranormal activity. The last scene therefore suggests that Sydney and Howard will face additional dangers. There are probably a variety of creatures connected to numerous urban tales. The conclusion thus sets up future challenging and captivating adventures for Sydney and Howard.